Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to use your hips to gain more distance. Hey guys, Eric here at the Bethlehem Golf Club. I want to talk to you today about what you're about to see in this video. Now this is actually one of a full masterclass that we did called Distance Masterclass, all about you gaining more distance with all of your clubs. Now the masterclass has 21 videos in, and we also put a bonus speed series that has an additional 10 videos, and we picked out our favorite YouTube videos all related to more distance. So all in all, you get about 40 videos all on gaining more distance. If you want to find out more about our masterclass, we'll put a link in the description down below. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. So let's talk about how the hips work with speed and distance. Now, this one will be a little bit more straightforward here in that, in terms of how the hips work, there's really two main functions of the hips in the golf swing in general and for speed and distance. One is how much they rotate. I guess there's hip rotation, if we will. Then there's also tilt. So I can have the left side of my hip low or high, or the right side of my hip. I can kind of change my tilt of my hips and rotation. For the purpose of hitting it farther, what I want you to put together is that you want more hip rotation on both sides. Now, technically speaking, the more hip rotation you have at impact is really the end goal objective, but by getting your hips moving more in space is a big speed producer. So what I want you to think is, I really want to get a lot of hip turn on the way back to get some freedom of motion, to create some space so that I can have open, or so that I can open them more on the way down again for speed. Now I have two little sticks on the ground as a little bit of a reference for an eye line, but basically what I want you to take from this is during my backswing, I want to have my hips or my belt buckle turned back a bunch. 45 degrees at the top of the backswing in terms of hip turn would be a good checkpoint. I put a little stick on the ground, I kind of have a little bit of a cross here. And the goal would be at the top, I have this first club on about a 45-degree angle relative to my right foot. If I put the club across my hips here, across my legs, I'm trying to get that turned about that same 45-degree angle. That would be about a checkpoint there, which for some of you might feel like a lot of rotation. So I'm trying to get the hips back about 45. Now I'm letting my left knee work in. I'm letting my belt buckle turn. I feel my left hip and my left leg working in towards my right leg. My right leg and right hip are kind of working back behind me, loaded into my glute. And then by the time I get to impact, I'd love to have my hips back to 45 again. Not all of us are gonna reach that, but the idea being, hey, I wanna get my hips open and then wanna get them back open. Now, if you do the footwork stuff we talked about and the leg work we talked about in previous videos, a lot of the hip rotation is gonna happen by itself or vice versa. So a lot of these pieces are gonna kind of work together. Now, if I remove these sticks, really, we can work these in two different little phases. One would be adding the hip turn on the way back first, and then adding the hip turn on the way through. And for me to add more hip turn on the way back, if I want to get more distance, I can feel my belt buckle kind of working more behind me to the camera. Like I said, left knee more in, heel can come up is fine, right hip sort of works back behind me, and maximizing that as I'm feeling a little pressure shift into my left foot. So normal setup, I'm gonna feel my belt buckle working away, left knee more in during the backswing. And that helps increase overall hip rotation on the way back. And I can start with that again. You've heard a couple times. Supporting that with video, seeing do I have enough hip turn? Do I need more or not, right? And then I can do some where I'm trying to feel the other way. Well, if left knee in, belt buckle back, right hip back, got me turned this way, the opposite would be true. Left knee out, belt buckle towards the target, kind of right hip forward would give me the rotation pieces on the way through. Let's go ahead and feel that. And then ideally I can start to put both of those pieces together, and these with all the body parts, right? The feet, the legs, the hips, the torso we're gonna talk about, true for all clubs. This is true for all the clubs. These same body motions work across the board. So really getting more turn on both sides is the idea. You don't want to try and restrict hip turn on the way back so that you can turn more on the way down. You want freedom of motion. And as you're creating turn on both sides, you're creating that pressure shift. You want to, in terms of the feet and the hips kind of working together, you want to shift some pressure in your right foot as you're turning. You kind of want to unweight your lead foot. You can think about it that way too. If I'm 50-50, I want to take pressure off my left foot and turn, put it back on my left foot and turn, and turning these into athletic feels. So in terms of speed and distance, unweight the left foot, pressure into the right with some belt buckle turn, reapply it to the left foot with some belt buckle turn, and we can create different feels and do those same things. Pressure and turn, and putting those pieces together to be able to create speed. So that's a general overview of how the hips work, the legs, and the feet. Let's talk about general torso movement for more distance. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is one of our full distance masterclass. We will put a link in the description down below for all the details. All of the CogornoGolf.com members do get free access to all of our masterclasses. If you want to check out CogornoGolf.com, the link will also be in the description down below. If you did like this video, do us a favor, click the like button, subscribe, click the notification bell, and another reminder, every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live here on YouTube for Rapid Fire Golf. Would love to see you there.